here at Silverstone Composites today. They're about to begin their journey to digitise their shop floor. So we're here to do their scoping day and really look at where we can make the biggest impact as quickly as possible.
The outcome of today, I'll have sufficient information and understanding about your processes here to optimise the configuration of our TotalControlPro application. What are your main challenges at the cutting station?
So the kit cutting machine, our CNC machine, is what we use to actually create all of our parts initially. It cuts out all of our shapes, which our boys then use to stick together to create the end part. What we'd really like from that is to have full traceability from day one, so that we know at the end result, if anybody was to have to come back to us, that it was made on this day, at this time, by this person, and it's this kit number, so we can trace it back to where it came from.
Very good. So you're going to be using some of our core functionality of TotalControlPro, which is we're going to give you visibility of the order flow, i.e. right, that particular works order or the part thereof is actually being cut, but also the traceability of the materials that are being used.
Following on from the kit cutting, if we know that that part has been cut, the chaps in laminating know that they can then start that part. We've got 4 operators in that room. We know who's been allocated which jobs for which days. We'd like to be able to access any notes from previous jobs.
That real-time communication, between your laminating teams, between your cutting teams, so everyone within the teams, but also between the teams, knows exactly where the parts are and fundamentally if they're available to be worked on. So the other part was job times. So we certainly recognise that the laminating stage is where actually it takes the greater amounts of resources, manpower in your case.
Yeah. And we can then use that to feed back to our customers. If we know a part's taken a much less time than we first anticipated, we can go back to them with that live data and almost re-quote.
Obviously the parts that you're making are quite complex, so the team are working from schematics, from drawings, and at the moment they're paper-based, which is usual. So we're certainly going to digitise that process for you.
At the moment we're only marking that it's in the clave. Moving forward, it would be great to know what particular cure cycles they're on, how long they take, and we can also again feed back to the customers and say these are the cure cycles we are using, this is everything, historical data that we've had for it, just make sure they're happy with it as well.
That fits in beautifully around, for example, our batching feature, because we certainly recognise that there are many different parts from different orders actually being batched.
But they're all on the same
cure. All on the same cure cycle, right? Which can be a challenge for you as an organisation. And then we moved on to breakout. A very simple process, but a very important one for you.
If we ever have an issue with a part, we're not sure when it gets to our trim shop whether that's come from it being taken out of the mould in breakout or whether that's a problem with the laminating process.
First of all, having the operators actually scan as soon as they recognise that something is not as it should be, to have that as live, real-time red flags around the organisation, and to acknowledge that it's something that needs to be corrected.
If I get a call from a customer saying, where is my part? If it's in trim shop, I know there's a high possibility that they're probably going to get that part today or tomorrow because it's only got to go through our final stage.
And you're going to see that data literally by looking up at your airport-like departure board, let me describe it like that, and you can actually see in real time those particular parts are currently being processed at that final trim and also the inspection which happens thereafter. So you're even going to have the estimated time for completion. So dare I say, if you've got the delivery truck on its way, you're going to have the confidence that it's all going to be completed.
It should be done by a certain time.
Absolutely.
We've become now towards a point that we're producing so many parts that the system that we're currently using isn't able to cope, and Total Control offers an evolution of what we are currently doing, and will continue to grow that internally for us.
So following the scoping day, we will configure our system to match the process that is being adopted by the organisation. We'll then deploy that within the first 2 to 4 weeks, have that being tested on the shop floor so that we can get some test data and really check everything that's been put into place, and then roll out the deployment process so that we can deliver the right system quickly and rapidly.